City beat Galatasaray by 2-0 to book a place in the round of 16. They, of course, will avoid the playoffs. Jurgen, we haven't spoken to you much about Manchester City and their struggles of late. Given the standards that Pep Guardiola has set, how easy is it to rediscover that, considering they are still, because of Arsenal's problems also of late, in the title race?
Yeah, those up and downs, they are, I think it's just normal. And I mean, there's very few managers in the world like Pep Guardiola that know exactly kind of how to put things into the right perspective. You know, he knows when he's missing some results, you know, where to start fixing things. He knows where, you know, to say the right things in the right moment, you know, when the opponents kind of run away for a second and then he catches up on them again. I mean, over the years, you know, when you look back over the years, his work that he's done at Manchester City is just incredible. And that's why, you know, he never loses control. He never loses his patience. He knows also how kind of to behave when there's a bad period of time, when there are about a couple of results that are not going your way. No, it's just it's just an admirable manager.
Haaland, of course, getting a goal today, Jurgen. He's been on a bit of a drought as a striker. How do you deal with that, certainly as someone who has been scoring goals for so long, so consistently?
Well, that's like, you know, Alejandro knows that when we strikers don't score, then
Ali
we're
knows.
miserable, we are angry.
He knows about not scoring.
We are angry. No, but it is the typical path of strikers when you have a couple of bad weeks and you don't score is go back to work, you know, go back to training sessions, you know, do all types of exercises that give you confidence, that, you know, finishing stuff, and sooner or later you put it back into the net and things are okay again. And I mean, the quality of Erling Haaland is incredible, and we all know that, you know. And if there are a couple of weeks where he doesn't score, that wouldn't bother me at all, because I know that he will work hard to get back on track, because he's so ambitious, he's so professional and so driven. Then no, I would never even worry 1 second about Erling Haaland.
Are they still in the Carabao Cup?
Maybe. Yeah, they beat Chelsea, didn't they? 3-2 in the first leg.
Well, they might win the Carabao Cup with that back four.
Ah, there we go.
Won't win the Champions League. I know Gaze will play. Maybe Diaz will be fit at some point. Who's the other one? Guardiola is out for a longer period. Barring a big slice of defensive luck with form or fitness, even with Gay coming into that back four, I'm not going to win the Champions League. Not even going to come close. Defending two legs against the better teams, not going to happen.
Liverpool 6, Qarabağ 0. How much is this sort of result a relief then, Stevie? Considering what's
No, it is a relief. Absolutely, it is. You know, you can look at it.
We saw them beat Marseille, didn't we? Easily.
Yeah.
And
what's the relief about?
Got the ball. That's what I'm asking.
Well, the relief is not sitting there on the edge of your seat.
Well, you're not sitting there because they're going to make the top 8.
Hiding your eyes, waiting on something falling apart or going wrong. That's the relief of being able to watch this. And then on top of that, you just hope that the next time they step on the field in the Premier League, they can take some of that movement and some of the strikes and some of the chances and turn it into more consistent performances. That's what it's all about.
Match day 1.
I have been. That's why it's a relief to sit through this.
But this doesn't mean anything.
The only thing he sat through was 2 large packet of chips.
And they were large.
They were
very large.
There was a party going on somewhere.
Look, Liverpool, you just don't know what you're going to get. And this is obviously an extremely weak team. In Qarabağ, at home, I think the true Liverpool is what we saw at Bournemouth at the weekend. Sort of up and down, inconsistent, making defensive mistakes. Salah's form, regardless of the free kick, which was a good free kick, it was a carbon copy of the one at Bournemouth, but when he backstepped it to Szoboszlai. But the big question will be when teams put them under more pressure.
Of course.
You know, in England and in the knockout stages of this, obviously they're going to mess around. The big question will be: is the Achilles heel going to come back and bite them in the backside? And I just don't see it going away. It's been there all season.
It's a detail. It's a small detail of the state of mind of a player. Florian Wirtz, who hasn't had the greatest time at Liverpool and has been well documented and well reported, scores a goal today. And yes, it is against Qarabağ, but you're not scoring goals all the time. And is there even a celebration And he just kind of scores, and it's just a slow jog. And I'm thinking, man, this is a moment to find that release, to go and celebrate in front of your fans at Anfield and create some sort of connection, create some sort of bond. I'm not suggesting that that's the difference between playing well and not playing well, but it does elevate the level of confidence, not only for you, but for those around you as well, and the fans around you as well. I don't see enjoyment from Florian Wirtz. Even when he's playing well, even when he's scoring a goal, it's almost like, all right, well, let's get on with it. When he was at his best with Bayer Leverkusen, there was a certain aura about him and a certain confidence about him that I'm just not seeing at Liverpool, even when he scores a goal.
Maybe if he has a big game in the knockout stages when it comes round for them, and it sort of lights up their season. Certainly in Europe, maybe that'll be the moment for him. But it's not, because it looks like in the Premier League, it's not like they're going through the motions, but they know they're not going to win it. I mean, their fight is for the top four.
Yes.
So if they get a big moment, a big draw, some big games at Anfield, that'll be the last 16 at that point, I believe. That's when he could really step up and ignite his Liverpool career against the better sides.
Is it too simple to say that in the Premier League, Wirtz doesn't get as much time and space as he does when he plays in the Champions League? I mean, Jurgen, is that too simple to say that's really what the problem is for Wirtz?
I think it's maybe a very interesting point. Absolutely, I mean the tempo played in the Premier League is faster than all the other leagues in Europe. And the spaces are tight and the defensive mechanisms are to perfection. I think when you go as a young kid, and he's still a young kid. We're talking about 21, 22. I'm not 100% sure now, but you move, from your home country, to a different place. And Liverpool is then kind of not only challenging him on the field, it's challenging him also off the field. You got to go there. You got to change your style, way of living, a totally different environment. Everything is new to you. Your teammates, the expectations are huge. You come with a price tag that is out of control because none of these kids that can really do anything for these transfer fee prices from 60, 80, 100 or 150 million. It's not their fault, And some are more kind of open to this new challenge than others, and it will take time. And I see in Florian over the last 6 months a path that is going through all these new moments, is going through all these new challenges, and is maturing. He's maturing. He's just getting kind of used to certain things, and step by step, he hopefully finds his way of scoring goals like he did at Leverkusen, and finds his way, to show his qualities. This kid is highly, highly talented. He has everything to prove his point in the Premier League. I don't see a problem there, but for some it takes a little bit longer, and for some, like Woltemade, for the other German kid that got suddenly transferred to Newcastle from Stuttgart that nobody really had on its plate. He came and he just was happy from day one on and scored. So every character is different. It will be really super interesting now how it plays out with Liverpool in the next couple of months. But as long as Florian Wirtz stays healthy and kind of keeps on improving step by step, I think that he will have a very special career also in England.